9 to 5 in the rear view. And now happy hour has arrived. Let's lead this man to his $6 Popeyes Big Box. That's worth crunch balance.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
The CSRA has always been my home. People know my law firm for work in the community as well as for our life-changing results. That's local experience you can count on. Call Austin Jackson, the Augusta guy.
At Stanton, get a stash of contacts for year-round freshness. With 1 year of AccuView Oasis for $149, plus a free contact lens eye exam. Lowest price of the year. Book your eye exam today. Stanton Optical, easy's our thing.
Evans, you can't handle the roof.
Together, Parker's Kitchen and our customers raised over $300,000 last year to help our partner win a water project. So thank you for rounding up at checkout. Your change really does make a change.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 live at 5.
Bagpipes trickle the melodies of sorrow as communities and law enforcement agencies from all across the area pay tribute to fallen Columbia County Deputy Brandon Sykes. He was killed in the line of duty during a traffic stop a little more than a week ago. Hundreds of community and law enforcement members lined the streets at the Performing Arts Center as they made their way through the procession. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Will Rio. Deputy Sykes' funeral service wrapped up just hours ago at the Performing Arts Center. He leaves behind his wife and daughter, plus a lasting legacy at the Columbia County Sheriff's Office. Your City Hood joins us live at 5 at the Performing Arts Center, where people gathered to pay their respects today. Sydney, what were the emotions like inside the building?
The overriding goal for Deputy Brandon Sykes was to serve people and help people. Those are words from Columbia County Sheriff Clay Whittle, spoken today at today's service, and that really speaks to how the community is coming out to honor Deputy Sykes. Among the thousands that came out to pay their respects today included law enforcement agencies from every corner of the state, and a community who can't seem to say thank you enough to someone who gave his life to protect ours. They didn't have to verbally say thank you. You could feel it inside and out. The overwhelming presence of people honoring Deputy Sykes shows you how grateful this community is for his sacrifice. Most knew Deputy Sykes from work, and some never met him before, but today we all got to know Deputy Brandon Sykes outside the uniform, the friend, husband, and father his family loves him as, and it was a love that you could feel in the stories they shared with us.
When I arrived, Brandon, Robert, and another friend were sitting on the ground laughing. Luckily, no one was injured, other than the fence that the truck flipped through. He did go to the landowner and, told them that he would pay for the fence to be repaired. Even when he was causing problems, he did what he thought was right to fix it.
And throughout the day, we heard stories about how Deputy Sykes cared for his community. So to end the service, Pastor Kenny turned onto the community to take a lesson from Deputy Sykes and be a community that cares. Really powerful message right there, Will.
And it's those stories during the funeral that we heard today from Deputy Brandon Sykes' brother that really humanize who these people are beyond the badge. I mean, they're our friends, neighbors, family members as well, and it goes far beyond what they do every single day. But it was just incredible to see how many people came out to support Deputy Sykes and his family. Of course, our thoughts are with their family today as well as with the Columbia County Sheriff's Office. Thank you, Sydney, for sharing that with us. Deputy Sykes' death hits close to home for so many people, even for those who didn't know him on a personal level. We spoke to one man who was lined up at the PAC early this morning to pay his respects.
These are people out here protecting us, and for something like this to go on is really unthinkable, I mean, it's just I love, I always wave to the cops going, what if I pass them on the road, just to know that they got a friend, and thank you for your service.
He says his brother-in-law, who works for the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, spoke highly of Deputy Sykes. Your RJ Dickherber saw firsthand the outpour of support for Deputy Sykes during the procession today. She joins us live at 5 now at Abilene Baptist Church. Audrey, what was that like today?
Well, hundreds of people lined all up and down this road that I'm on right now, and a lot of them even held up flags to show their love and support for Deputy Sykes. And it was people ranging from all different ages that are coming together at a time when it's needed most. Silence spread among the crowds as agencies from multiple different counties drove by, flashing their lights, while people raised their flags high to remember Deputy Sykes and thank those who put their lives on the line every day. Then he told me that this shows us just how much we take for granted and that this was the least they could do.
I think it just shows support, and I think it'll probably, just offer some comfort to know that it affects a lot of people in this area. It's just, we don't want this kind of violence in our community. We want to, and our officers are brave, and they're out there every day putting their lives on the line, and there's no really way for us to let them know how much we appreciate it.
Definitely been an overwhelming amount of support for Deputy Sykes and his loved ones when it comes to meal trains, social media posts, the memorial, and now this today.
And we saw that through all the video today, all the people lining the streets there. We saw young kids out there with their parents too. So an important message to share with not only the people watching now, but also the generations to come. Thank you, Sydney, for that, or Audrey, excuse me, for that update. And there are many ways that you can show your support for the family of Deputy Sykes. Tunnel to Towers Foundation is fundraising in memory of the fallen deputy. All proceeds will go towards a mortgage-free home for his family. All you have to do is fill out this form with your first and last name, email, address, and phone number. And community support continues to pour in for Deputy Gavin White, who was also shot during that same traffic stop. The Burke County Sheriff's Office and Shepherd Community Blood Center hosting a blood replenishment drive this Wednesday. That's from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. at the Burke County Sheriff's Office. Just last week, the Shepherd Blood Center says the Columbia County Blood Drive raised $8,000 for Deputy White's recovery.
Well, thoughts and prayers continue to go out to Deputy White and also the family of Deputy Sykes' family as well. Timeline moving forward this week, we are going to stay dry tomorrow, but we do have some rain that's going to enter the forecast by the middle of the week and potentially could stick around as late as the weekend, but it looks like those later in the week rain chances going to be tough to determine because of this. We actually have what's referred to as an omega block in our atmosphere, so these two upper level lows are separated, and it creates what looks to be like the Greek letter omega in our upper level wind pattern. This will eventually break down Wednesday, but when these blocking patterns emerge, it's tough for models to materialize what happens next. So stay updated on the forecast this week. I would imagine those rain chances get a little bit squirrely as we get late into the week. Potentially could be changed. 78 degrees this afternoon, a little bit of a breeze out of the west-southwest. Generally sunny skies. Going to be beautiful this evening if you're heading out. Temps will be in the 70s at least through sunset, and then later tonight we are going to be cooling things off. We'll see the 60s before midnight, but by early tomorrow morning we should be waking up close to 50 degrees, maybe some upper 40s in a few spots west of Augusta. Have much more on those rain chances late in the week in just about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Riley. Within the last 30 minutes, we learned the name of the child who died after a two-car crash in Richmond County today. The coroner's office is identifying them as 8-year-old Camden Poole. We're giving you a look at the map of that area where the Richmond County Sheriff's Office says it happened. This is the intersection of Peach Orchard Road and Tobacco Road. The Sheriff's Office says the crash happened a little after 1 o'clock this afternoon. Officials say the time of the crash, the vehicle carrying Poole was going south on Peach Orchard Road, while the other vehicle was going north on Peach Orchard Road in the left turn lane of that intersection. A safety alert tonight. A man is wanted for questioning after a deadly shooting killed one and injured several others in downtown Augusta last night. We're showing you the subject in question right now. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office wants to speak with Wendarius Harris in reference to the shooting death of Zyshawn Franklin. It happened on Riverfront Drive near the Augusta Boathouse. Authorities say he's known to hang around the area of East Boundary in Batesburg, South Carolina. This is a look at the scene moments after that shooting last night. The Sheriff's Office says 2 other people were shot and sent to the hospital. We're working to learn the condition of those 2 people. Deputies say the shooting was a result of an unpermitted gathering. If you have any information about this incident or the man wanted for questioning, you can contact the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. And tonight's shocking video shows the moments Richmond County deputies and North Augusta public safety officers ended a chase with a pit maneuver here. This is video sent to our newsroom from a viewer. The sheriff's office tells us the driver was taken into custody. The chase ended right there on I-20 near the Wrightsboro Road exit. We are working to learn what led up to this chase. Stick with us. If you live in South Carolina, you could receive a surprise check in the mail as early as this week. That's thanks to a new initiative from State Treasurer Curtis Loftus called Palmetto Payback. It returns unclaimed property to its owners, and you don't even have to file a claim. The state's treasurer's office estimates 1 in 7 people in South Carolina have unclaimed property, with the average property worth more than $500. A travel alert for people across the 2 states tonight. The Real ID deadline is just 2 days away. Starting May 7th, you must have a gold or black star in the upper right-hand corner of your ID in order to take a flight. If you still haven't applied for one, here's a breakdown of what documents you need to do that. 1 proof of identity, proof of legal presence for non-U.S. citizens, 2 proofs of state residency, social security card, and your current driver's license if you're exchanging one issued by another state. A safety alert tonight as the deadline nears for those real IDs. The Better Business Bureau says you need to be aware of scams. The agency says don't believe anyone claiming to speed up this process.
Con artists love when there is a new government mandate because it's easy for them to impersonate government agencies and take advantage of people who might not know the exact directions about how to go getting a real ID for.
You need to be aware of text, emails, and phone calls claiming that you can get your real ID now with the click of a button. The BBB says it's important to take a close look at the website's URL for https or .gov. If you fall for this scam, you need to report it to the BBB scam tracker. Riley?
Well, beautiful weather out there to start off the week. Should stay nice tomorrow, but rain chances will be going up by the middle of the week, while the full forecast is next.
Time and Temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team. 2.
When you're on the go, Circle K's on the way. Grab something fresh, fast, for just $3, $4, or $5. Whether you're finishing a long night, about to start your day, or just grabbing a quick bite, you'll always find a fresh meal deal ready to go. Easy, fast, and affordable. Get a meal deal at Circle K today. At participating locations, visit CircleK.com for details. Deals on select steel tools. Shop in-store and online.
Welcome back in, folks. We've started off the week with some beautiful weather out there today. That should continue again tomorrow. We're actually going to see another relatively cool May night. We actually could see some 40s in a few spots waking up early tomorrow. Most of the rain is going to hold out until we get to the middle of the week, and then our pattern is going to be conducive for just kind of daily spotty shower and thunderstorm chances. It's going to be all thanks to our next front moving in, and then it's just going to stall out and provide that opportunity for daily rain chances, most likely Wednesday through at least Saturday. So take advantage of the nice afternoon. 78 degrees right now. We have very dry air in place, dew points in the 40s, so that's what's going to help us cool off to near 50, maybe see some upper 40s out there by early tomorrow morning. So may need some sleeves on for the first part of the day. That will be a few degrees below average for this time of year, but a beautiful start to our Tuesday, and it's going to be great baseball weather. We got the Green Jackets back in town starting tomorrow. This is actually going to be a day game, so it's Education Day tomorrow. That's going to be an 11:05 first pitch, so if you want to head out to SRP Park, it's going to be an earlier start than usual for us, but it's going to be beautiful during the game. Most likely start off in the 70s and close that game in the low 80s. So a beautiful afternoon to be outside there along the Savannah River. Now, as we head into Wednesday, that's when the rain chances do go up. So this is 3 p.m. tomorrow. You can see generally sunny skies, not much to worry about. Now, once we get into Wednesday, now our front is now starting to get a little bit closer towards us, so bringing us the potential maybe for some showers right around lunchtime. Wednesday continues, just isolated hit or miss through the afternoon, and then with this front sticking around on Thursday, most likely going to continue these chances just kind of on and off. May not necessarily be an all-day washout any of these days, but you got a decent chance of seeing rain at some point during all of them. So 7-day forecast looking much wetter Wednesday through Saturday. Luckily by Mother's Day Sunday, it does look a little bit drier.
Thanks, Riley. Traffic alert tonight as we give you a live look at Bobby Jones Expressway. In less than 3 hours, parts of I-520 and Bobby Jones Expressway will shut down. Now, the first closure starts tonight at 8 and goes until 5 tomorrow morning. Work will take place between Deansbridge Road, exit 5, and Mike Paget Highway, exit 9. These overnight closures will continue every day this week. You're told to use caution as you drive through those work zones. Well, coming up, all 50 states require a court process to free up assets following a loved one's death. We investigate the complex and convoluted mandate forcing families to find lawyers while they grieve.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
Attention homeowners.
More than healthcare, people care. Life isn't a whisper. It's a roar. It's about getting your hands dirty, taking risks that thrill, and planning the adventure that awaits the next day. Life is a precious, playful thing, which means it's our job to explore it, to nurture it, and preserve it. But also, to let loose and enjoy it. Riverbank Zoo and Garden. Live a wild life.
Welcome back, folks. Remember, if you're heading out tonight, temperatures will be cooling off relatively quick after sunset. We actually should get down close to 50 by early tomorrow morning, so a relatively cool night for Maine standards. Once we get to tomorrow, we're expecting high temps to be a little bit warmer, most likely hitting the mid-80s. Not expecting any rain tomorrow, and take advantage of the dry day for your Tuesday because rain chances do enter the forecast again by Wednesday and most likely stick around at least through Saturday. Let's take a closer look at your Wednesday. We just had a brief look at that, but this is a more zoomed in view. So early in the morning Saturday, I would say right at sunrise, mostly dry, but as we head towards lunchtime, maybe we do see some approaching showers. Not expecting a ton of thunderstorm activity, thankfully, Wednesday, but can't rule out maybe a rumble of thunder in some of our southern counties. You can see that as this passes through, not necessarily widespread heavy rain for everyone, but just going to continue that chance, maybe 40% chance for a spotty shower out there throughout the day. That'll continue into our Wednesday evening, and then most likely continue into Thursday, Friday, maybe even Saturday. The reason is we have a stalled front over the region, so with that stalled front, your pattern's not really changing day to day, so you're just going to have a very similar setup going into all the rest of the week once we get past tomorrow. So heads up, keep that umbrella close by once we get past tomorrow.
Thanks, Riley. It's a taboo subject that most Americans choose to ignore. Riley.
Well, don't forget that this weekend is Mother's Day. On Sunday, if you have any plans outside, it does look mostly dry, partly cloudy. High temps will be hitting the upper 70s, so a little bit below average for this time of year. Now look at that 7-day just after a short break.
We've helped injured people first.
Breaking traffic alert live at 5. Aiken Department of Emergency Management says parts of Pine Log Road are shut down due to a gas leak. We're showing you a map of that area right now. The gas leak is between Hillman Street and Pleasant Point Drive. As you can see, the area is shaded in yellow and red there due to traffic. A detour is in place. You should avoid that area until further notice. Riley?
Well, if you are heading out today, we do have dry weather expected through the rest of tonight and even into tomorrow. Temperatures today are hitting the upper 70s. It's a beautiful afternoon to be outdoors. Dry air in place, and that will help us cool off a little bit more tonight. Temperatures will fall to near 50 by early tomorrow morning, but it's going to be a warmer afternoon, most likely mid-80s Tuesday. The rain chances do return Wednesday and likely will stick around through Saturday for us. Luckily, if you have any Mother's Day plans, it does look mostly dry. Stick with us. We're going to have much more coming up just after a short break.
Introducing the First Alert Radar Network.
With up to 10 times the resolution of other local radars and technology that can pinpoint right down to your street.
First, just got faster.
Attention homeowners, we
more for less.
9 to 5 in the rear view, and now happy hour has arrived. Let's lead this man to his $6 Popeyes Big Box. That's work crunch balance.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Trust Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale for your First Alert.
You can find ice-cold refreshment right here at Parker's Kitchen. Cool off with a large fountain drink for just 89 cents. That's a huge sweet tea for less than $1 at Parker's Kitchen.
You're watching News 12 live at 5. Continues.
bagpipes trickle the melodies of sorrow as communities and law enforcement agencies from across the area pay tribute to fallen Columbia County Deputy Brandon Sykes. He was killed in the line of duty during a traffic stop a little more than a week ago. Hundreds of community and law enforcement members lined the streets at the Performing Arts Center as they made their way there for the procession. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Will Rio. Deputy Sykes' funeral service wrapped up just hours ago at the Performing Arts Center. He leaves behind his wife and his daughter, plus a lasting legacy at the Columbia County Sheriff's Office. Among the thousands who showed up to pay their respects to Deputy Sykes included law enforcement agencies from every corner of the state and a community who can't say thank you enough to someone who gave his life to protect ours. Most knew Deputy Sykes from work. Some never met him before, but today we all got to know Deputy Brandon Sykes outside of his uniform. His brother took to the podium in front of a massive crowd with a story of how dedicated Deputy Sykes was to the Sheriff's Office.
Recently, he accepted it into the role of crime suppression unit. When I asked him why was he so excited about this position, he said, now instead of only writing tickets, I get to take bad people off the street and make the county safer. He absolutely loved his time with CSU. It was never about the spotlight or notoriety for him. It was always about moving in silence and making a difference to protect his family.
And throughout the day, we heard stories about how Deputy Sykes cared for his community. So to end his service, Pastor Kenny turned to community to take a lesson from Deputy Sykes and be a community that cares. Now, moments after the funeral service, military servicemen paid tribute to the fallen deputy with a 3-volley salute. We do want to warn you, what you're about to hear will be very loud booms. Now that was a rifle firing party sending 3 volleys of blank rounds into the sky in honor of Deputy Sykes. It's a common military honor often seen at military funerals. Your Hallie Turner joins us live at 5 now at the Performing Arts Center where those shots rang off in honor of the servicemen. Hallie, you were there during that ceremony and other parts of the funeral. What was all of that like today?
It was extremely emotional. It was a moving scene here outside of the Performing Arts Center, and there wasn't a single dry eye in sight.
Thousands of civilians, law enforcement officers, and their families stood in silence before, during, and after the service. The reality of this devastating loss hit hardest as the horse carrying the body of Deputy Sykes turned onto Main Street and traveled through a sea of flashing lights. The only sound you could hear for miles, distant bagpipes and flags waving in the wind. Deputy Sykes was also an Army veteran, and they honored that part of his life with a salute of 3 volleys of 7.
Ready. Aim. Up. Aim.
His final call across Columbia County frequencies followed. Ending with an emotional helicopter flyover.
So much emotion on display out here today, and normally when you see a law enforcement officer, they kind of have a tough look on their face and they're really ready for whatever's thrown their way. But the loss of Deputy Sykes carries a different type of pain, and it was one you couldn't just see today, you really felt it, and it was all around me.
And it was just an incredible sight to see how many people and how many law enforcement agencies came out to support Deputy Sykes and his family, along with the Columbia County Sheriff's Office. Our thoughts and prayers are with that family today, along with the Columbia County Sheriff's Office. Thank you, Hallie, for that update. And Deputy Sykes' death hits close to home for so many people, even for those who didn't know him on a personal level. We spoke to one man who was lined up at the PAC early this morning to pay his respects.
These are people out here protecting us. And for something like this to go on is really unthinkable, you know. I mean, it's just, I love, you know, I always wave to the cops going, what if I pass them on the road, you know, just to know that they got a friend, you know, and thank you for your service.
He says his brother-in-law, who works for the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, spoke highly of Deputy Sykes. And community support continues to pour in for Deputy Gavin White, who was also shot during that same traffic stop. The Burke County Sheriff's Office and Shepherd Community Blood Center hosting a blood replenishment drive this Wednesday. That's from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. at the Burke County Sheriff's Office. Just last week, the Shepherd Blood Center says the Columbia County Blood Drive raised $8,000 for Deputy White's recovery. And there are many ways you can show your support for the family of Deputy Sykes. Tunnel to Towers Foundation is fundraising in memory of the fallen deputy. All proceeds will go towards a mortgage-free home for his family. All you have to do is fill out this form with your first and last name, email, address, and a phone number as well. Well, the weather today has been sunny and dry. Last hour, we learned the name of a child who died after a two-car crash of upper 40s around. More on that and those rain chances in just about 10 minutes. Thanks, Riley. Within the last hour, we learned the name of a child who died after a two-car crash in Richmond County. The coroner's office is identifying them as 8-year-old Camden Poole. We're giving you a look at a map of that area where the Richmond County Sheriff's Office says it happened. This is the intersection of Peach Orchard Road and Tobacco Road. The Sheriff's Office says the crash happened a little after 1 o'clock this afternoon. Officials say at the time of that crash, the vehicle carrying Poole was going south on Peach Orchard Road, while the other vehicle was going north on Peach Orchard Road in the left turn lane of that intersection. A safety alert tonight. A man is wanted for questioning after a deadly shooting in downtown Augusta last night. We're showing you the subject in question right now. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office wants to speak with Wendarius Harris in reference to the shooting death of Zyshawn Franklin. It happened on Riverfront Drive near the Augusta Boathouse. Authorities say he's known to hang around the East Boundary area in Batesburg, South Carolina. This is a look at that scene moments after the shooting. The Sheriff's Office says 2 other people were shot and sent to the hospital. We're working to learn their condition. Deputies say the shooting was a result of an unpermitted gathering. If you have any information on this incident or the man wanted for questioning, contact the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. And tonight's shocking video shows the moments Richmond County deputies and North Augusta public safety officers ended a chase with a pit maneuver. This is video sent to our newsroom from a viewer. The Sheriff's Office tells us the driver was taken into custody. The chase ended right there on I-20 near the Wrightsboro Road exit. We are working to learn what led up to this chase. If you live in South Carolina, you could receive a surprise check in the mail as early as this week. That's thanks to a new initiative from State Treasurer Curtis Loftus called the Palmetto Payback. It returns unclaimed property to its owners, and you don't even have to file a claim. The state's Treasurer Office estimates 1 in 7 people in South Carolina have unclaimed property, with the average property worth more than $500. A travel alert for people across the 2 states tonight. The Real ID deadline is just 2 days away. Starting May 7th, you must have a gold or black star in the upper right-hand corner of your ID in order to get onto a flight. If you still haven't applied for one, here's a breakdown of what documents you need to do that. 1 proof of identity, proof of legal presence for non-U.S. citizens, 2 proofs of state residency, social security card, and your current driver's license if you are exchanging one issued by another state. In a safety alert tonight, as the deadline nears for those real IDs, the Better Business Bureau says you need to be aware of certain scams. Now, the agency says don't believe anyone claiming to speed up this process.
Have to just think before you act. They're going to convince you to pay and enter your information, but that will go straight to a scammer. That can lead to things like fraud charges and identity theft.
The BBB says it's important to take a close look at a website's URL for HTTPS or .gov. If you fall victim to a scam, you need to report that to the BBB Scam Tracker. Riley?
Well, we are dry this afternoon and should stay dry tomorrow, but the more active weather does head our way by the middle of the week. We'll have the full forecast next.
Time and temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team.
The weather, it's something that affects us all every day, from sunny to severe and anything in between. This is why we First Alert.
By the time we get to Mother's Day Sunday, it does looks like our pattern will be changing enough to bring us a little bit drier outlook.
Sounds good. Thanks, Riley. Tonight, health officials are warning everyone of the danger of misinformation amid the growing outbreak of measles. There's a growing number of cases all across the country. Your Georgia State House reporter Abby Kasoris breaks down the new data that could help you make decisions for your family.
Georgia remains vulnerable for widespread community transmission. Measles vaccination rates in Georgia fall below the national average and below the 95% threshold for herd immunity. According to the Atlanta-based Center for Disease Control, there are over 900 confirmed measles cases across 25 states so far this year, and 3 confirmed deaths. One person who has it will infect 9 out of 10 people nearby if they are unvaccinated, but a 2 vaccine dose is 97% effective at preventing measles. It starts out like a cold, fever, cough, runny nose, often worsening to a rash, trouble breathing and thinking because of swelling of the brain.
How close it is to home and how many people travel to Georgia.
Mom Charmaine Hutchins is among more than half of adults who say they are at least somewhat worried about the outbreak of measles. Her first thought was to make sure her sons were up to date on their vaccinations. She waited to vaccinate her youngest after her oldest son was diagnosed with autism.
Very concerned that the vaccinations played a big part in that.
6 in 10 adults said that they've heard or read about the false link between autism and the MMR vaccine. Less than a quarter believe it's true or probably true, creating vaccine hesitancy.
Essentially the most contagious infectious disease that we look at. It's maybe 8 or 9 times more so than COVID. And it used to be, before we had the vaccine, that pretty much everyone got it.
Georgia Tech professor Peter Kassan says the measles vaccine is the most crucial tool to stop the spread. There are no antibiotics to treat measles.
That really what we're doing is very high-tech chicken soup to try to support people through the infection.
Georgia law requires vaccinations to attend pre-K, daycare, or nursery services. There are some exceptions. The CDC says that 64.3% of Georgia 2-year-olds received their recommended doses. The number has fallen in recent years. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasoris.
Breaking news live at 5. Within the last 30 minutes, we learned about a stabbing incident in Aiken. It happened this afternoon. Officials tell us officers were called to Sumter Street Southeast for an altercation involving a knife. Officials say when they got to that scene, they found a man with cuts on his body. He was sent to the hospital for his injuries. At this time, we do not know the condition of the victim or if there is a suspect in this case. We are on your side as we work to learn more about this incident. Stick with us. We're back after a short break.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
Do you currently have a Medicare supplement? If you've had it for a few years, you probably noticed the rates continue to rise. If you're in pretty decent health, there's a good chance we can get you that exact same coverage for a lot less. Give us a call or visit our website, areu64.com.
Sometimes it's hard to see past the looming repair and
App Signal is making headlines again, this time for a high-level security blunder after officials accidentally leaked military plans in a group chat. Well, we are closing in on the GHSA state championships for spring sports, and tonight another leg of the playoffs, Alyssa.
Yeah, we're already at the Elite Eight for girls soccer. A lot of our teams fell out of the contention last week, but Screven County and Greenbrier girls soccer are still in the mix. The Lady Pack are playing in their 3rd consecutive Elite Eight, and for the most part, they've made deep playoff runs because of the current senior class. Most of them were on varsity as sophomores. That year, they went to the state final and lost. Junior year, they made it to this stage of the playoffs and went home. The region champions come into their meeting against Lassiter, riding a 9-game win streak, 6 of those shutouts. The other 3 only allowing 1 goal. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. On to lacrosse now. Clemson's women's lacrosse is really showing growth. In only their 3rd year of competition, the Tigers have secured a spot in the NCAA tournament for the first time in program history. They earned an at-large bid. Clemson recently knocked off 2 top 10 programs, recently making it to their first ACC semifinal appearance. Well, they'll face Navy in their first round at Chapel Hill on Friday. Our area LAC teams often travel to watch the Tigers. They were the first to have a facility solely dedicated to women's lacrosse. They beat Syracuse, so that really should tell you how good they are.
Hurry, it's happening.
Welcome back in, folks. A live look over downtown Augusta. We have the Calhoun Expressway, North Augusta in the distance, and it's a beautiful day to be outside. We got temperatures right now topping out close to 80. We've been as high as around 80 here in Augusta, currently at 78. That wind's still pretty steady at about 10 out of the west, but that will calm down at 2 tonight. Here's our evening planner. If you're heading out, it's a great evening to be out there. We got temperatures in the 70s, at least through sunset. Once we get past midnight tonight, we are going to be falling through the 50s and potentially maybe see a spot spot or two hit the upper 40s by early tomorrow morning. So to start off our Tuesday, if you're going to be up early around sunrise, get prepared for temperatures near the 50-degree mark. It's going to be a little bit cool for May standards out there to start off the day Tuesday. Once we get later into the afternoon, though, should be warmer than today, most likely hitting highs into the mid-80s, and should see plenty of sun out there through at least our Tuesday afternoon. Now, the rain chances do start to go up once we get into Wednesday, so heads up, make sure you have that umbrella before you head out the door Wednesday morning. These showers will be possible as we head towards around lunchtime.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
This is not you.
It's not me.